My question is to the Prime Minister. As the COP27 climate change conference gathers, what action is the Albanese government taking on climate change?
Give the call. Member for Herbert. The House will come to order. The member was heard in silence. The Prime Minister will be heard in silence, and I give him the call.
Thanks very much, and I thank the best ever member for Higgins for her question. Can I say this, that the COP27, the UN Climate Change Conference, has begun at Sharm el-Sheikh in Egypt, and it will sit for the coming fortnight. And it sits in a context where it comes after the hottest decade on record. And indeed, the past 8 years are on track to be the 8 warmest on record. Think about that. Every one of the 8 hottest years on record is the last 8 years. The last 8 years. And what we've seen, of course, not just the impact of this with the devastating floods in places like Pakistan. We don't actually have to look offshore. We can look here at the increased number of extreme weather events and the increase in the severity of them. Just before question time, I was speaking to the member for Riverina about Forbes in his electorate that we visited just a couple of weeks ago. We visited as the flood waters were going down. Now they've gone up again, and fortunately for the people of Forbes who've done it so tough, they've gone down again. I visited just a week ago Lismore with the New South Wales Premier, where we're actually having to buy homes to move them out of the floodplain because people do not feel safe in those communities. We've had the devastating bushfires, including in areas of rainforests that had never burnt ever before. And we have the Secretary of the UN say last night, the science is clear. Any hope of limiting temperature rise to 1.5 degrees means achieving global net zero emissions by 2050. But that 1.5 degree goal is on life support and the machines are rattling. Well, this parliament, the major parties apparently are all agreed on net zero by 2050, are all agreed, except for the rhetoric, and you wouldn't know it if you follow the statements that are aimed. So our government is acting. One of our first acts was to sign up to our changed nationally determined contribution of 43% by 2030. We've enshrined in law net zero by 2050, and we're investing in renewable energy. Climate change is a challenge for our generation, but it's also a challenge that we need to work with the rest of the world on.